So let's look at how you can build a rock solid long-term team. If you want to build something big here, become a leader, attract leaders, this is training for you. If you're just here to make 50 euros extra and you don't care about that, you just want to get some customers, you might not find a lot of value in this training. But I know many of you personally, and I know you have big goals, dreams, and aspirations with your career here. So I want to lay it out tonight. What will it take? Who should you prioritize to work with? And the language of a leader, and then what should you focus on? So first of all, in the chat, write down one if you have big goals with your Cincina career. How many in here has big goals with your Cincina career? We got the one, and 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 we got the one. Many ones here. Flying in, flying in, flying in, flying in. More flying in. Oh, one wrote hairy ones. Ooh, hairy ones. One. They just keep bouncing in there. They just keep bouncing in. For all of you who wrote a one there, I hope you have paper and pen ready. I really hope you have. They keep flying. They keep flying. Just the ones. They keep coming, huh? They keep coming, a lot of ones. So I want you to pay attention because we're going to lay it out for you tonight. I'm going to share. I'm going to do it with slides as well. Let's just... So looking at the view should be at speaker, so we get the slides there as well. So looking at building a huge, thriving, stable team. So we're going to talk about who should you work with? What are the skills you should work on? What are the 5 traits of a leader so you can rate yourself and see if you have those 5 traits? We're going to talk about, what is it that we do when we find potential leaders, and we're going to talk about how to take inventory of your business so you can see if you're on the right path. So it's going to be packed with good information here. This is information that will change your career. Of the 106 people on this call, and probably 200 are going to see the recording, 150, 200, this is skills that will change everything. Because when I talk to many of you, I coach many of you, I have conversations with many of you, too many of you are all over the place. There's no structure. There's no consistency. And this business works if you work it correctly. So I'm going to lay it out there. You're going to hear exactly what I'm focusing on, what I will focus on, and who I will focus on. Because what I'm going to teach you tonight is steps that I'm implementing, steps that I'm doing, that I'm looking at. And now we're going to articulate and communicate it. So we get everybody, working a way that get you results. Of course, some of you, you have this big ego, or you're a leader, and you know how it is, right? If a leader, in the beginning, I didn't listen my first month, trust me. I burned my whole list the first time when I was 25 and got started, and because I didn't listen. Sometimes, when you have a strong personality, that kind of personality, sometimes they need to go out and flex, right? Go out and flex the muscle, show that I'm a leader, I'm a strong person. And in this business, you will lose a lot of time doing that. And also you see it in the Mondo family as well. Some people start getting results. They need to flex, right? They need to show start creating their stuff. They lose time often. But that's okay, right? Because you will have that. If you build leaders in the group, they need to go out and flex, right? Sometimes. That's how it is. So that's okay. But if you want to save time, you want to stick to the system. Simplicity is the key. And looking at the first part, understanding if you have a couple of people in a team, who shall I focus on? I'm going to give you frameworks on all of these points that you could use and implement, but who should I focus on? These 3 skills, right? Hungry, willing, and coachable. Are they hungry? Do they want results? Are they willing to work for it? Because hungry and willing looks the same until they need to get to work. They can be hungry and say they want it, but are they willing to work? Are they willing to push through? Are they willing to stay consistent? Or else I can't help you. And then are they coachable? Because if somebody starts and they're not coachable, they're not running the system. I haven't seen anybody yet who succeeded with building a team and creating leaders and creating a stable business if they're not hungry, willing, and coachable. I haven't seen it. So here are the traits we're looking for. Is somebody you can invest your time in. Hungry, willing, coachable. If you don't have good results yet, do you have these traits? Are you hungry? Are you willing to work for it? And are you coachable? I know many of you, personally, a couple of you, I know you're hungry, you're willing, but you're not coachable. Then I know many who they're coachable, but they're not willing to work. They say they're hungry, they're coachable, but they're not putting in efforts. So we're going to cover as well the traits of a leader after looking at the 7 skills. Because what are the skills you should focus on becoming good? If you haven't read this book, I would highly recommend you right now go order this book, Go Pro with Eric Worre. For a new person, it's the best book in all industry. Go Pro Eric Worre, where he actually lays out and talk in depth about the 7 skills. So I would highly recommend, if you haven't read this book, go get the book, read the book, and learn. Because look at the 7 skills. I want you to think about yourself. Number 1, finding prospects. I want when you look at these skills, are you good at them or not good at them? But most importantly, are you consistently improving your skills? And how do you improve your skills in finding prospects? Having the conversations, opening conversations, no matter if it's online, offline. Are you regularly adding people to your list? Because now, if you're stagnant and you add a lot of people on your list and you start inviting them, you're going to see progress. So number 1, finding prospects. Number 2, inviting a prospect. So inviting prospects to have a look at the products, the business. So are you consistent in inviting prospects? How good are you at inviting? Also, all of you know, onemondo.com, our team page, if you log in, Education 2023's password, there's videos where I go through how to invite, how to present, how to do all the basic skills. So if you want some input on that, you can see them there. And then, of course, the book as well, I would recommend the Go Pro book, of course. So inviting a prospect, then presenting, and also all of these skills. If you have some new people in your team, I recommend you should be doing these steps with your team. So not just telling them to, watch this video and do it. No, you should be doing it with them. Like I can see Roman in the picture. We booked a presentation for tomorrow, right? I just got it started, 2-3 weeks ago, right? And when I was in Las Vegas last week in busy meetings, Sarah helped him with some presentations as well. So we're doing the presentations with him. So how does Roman becomes good at presenting? Hearing us, hearing me a couple of times. So I'm educating Roman when I'm doing presentation for his contacts. So how good are you at presenting? If you don't know, if you've been around for a while, talk to your sponsor. Have them do one presentation for a contact of yours. By doing it, right? Not, can I come listen when you do a presentation for somebody? No, book a meeting. I'll do it for your contact. Because now we're growing the business, we're being productive. At the same time, you're getting education. So it's learning and doing simultaneously, right? So presenting, how good are you at presenting? Then look at following up. If you don't have your link tree with your upline, we have the OneMondo link tree where I just send that and I tell them to show, to watch video 1 with Hilde, then the 2-minute concept of that. And then we have the ambassadors and above in the OneMondo family stories there. We have to get started there. That's the OneMondo link tree. That's what I use. Simplicity, right? A link I can duplicate. So following up should be structure. No matter if you have it on your notes, so you can just copy paste to your partner you're working with, or an email, whatever you use there, this should be simplified, right? A link or something, just send. Simplicity is the key here. So when do you follow up? You should be following directly. If I'm in the meeting with Roman, I'm going to book next meeting from that. Bam, fam. Always bam, fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. It's always bam, famming. And then helping the prospect to make a decision. How do you do that? Yeah, if Roman did a presentation for Lisa himself today, I would directly urge him to book a three-way call, a follow-up with me or Sarah, for example. So you use them to helping that prospect to make a decision. So you promote your upline, the person you're working with, and get them on a call with them, helping them make a decision, sending the link. And remember, after a presentation, the average person needs 3 to 7 exposures to make a decision. That's the average for somebody making a purchasing decision. So many are just doing a presentation, sending some links and nothing else. I mean, helping them make a decision, do a presentation, links, meeting, preferably with your upline sponsor, somebody in the upline they can relate to help them make that decision, like the closing or opening or decision meeting, right? And then following up as well. I stay consistently, I follow up consistently. You can ask Dave, it took me 3 years to get Dave. I actually have a woman, we have to get started on Wednesday. She's going to sign up probably tomorrow. She's going to make the order before I get started meeting on Wednesday. Do you know how long I've been following up on her? Her name is Alex. She's in Berlin. Do you know how long I've been following up on Alex? 9 years. 9 years of follow-up. Even my previous company I was with, when I tried to get, she actually came for a common contact in Berlin. I was living in Berlin for a while, building a big business in Germany and in this industry. And one of my Berlin leaders called Kevin, I said, who's top 10 on your list? We worked the list with our new people. Who's the top 10 on the list? And he said, oh, this woman, Alex, she's a personal trainer. She's big in health and, she's a Nike ambassador and everything. She's great. So try to get a meeting. We didn't even get a meeting. Took me over a year before I talked to her first time myself, and then regularly staying in contact. I Zoom, I call every now and then. We met in Barcelona for lunch 5 years ago, and then, or 6 years ago. And then 2 years ago, I was in Berlin, I met her again. So I've been following up for 9 years, and now she's getting started. That's why if they say no now, I put them no for now. And trust me, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, she was not even close to be interested. So it's not even oh, this sounds really good, but the bad timing. No, it was like, you can fit. Absolutely not, almost. Then, you just follow up, checking for timing, following up. Every now and then, check in. How's life? How's that going? So I write down in my notes. Like with Alex, I felt first time I met her, I want to work with her. And for example, if she says, my son starts school in October, what do? I put a reminder, October, in my calendar. Boop, reminder, Alex's son starts school. Text her and ask, how has school been for your son? Or prospects, Elisa says, yeah, my son will, she says no now, but I want to stay in contact 3 weeks from now. Or she posts a post that her son played her first football match, her daughter first ballet lesson. Stay in contact, right? Hey, how's the ballet? How did it go for your daughter? So just stay in contact, but helping that prospect to make a decision. With Alex, we talked again. I reached out again a couple of weeks ago. I said, it's time to work together. It's time to take a look at least now. Let's have a Zoom. I had a Zoom with her. She was open on that Zoom because she works with women. It's called Lifting Women, her community, in of course, in training, but also lifting, right? Lifting women mentally and helping them grow. And she has retreats and stuff. And also she helps women. And we know with menopause and all of this, for example, she mentioned that she helps women with that. And we know our product helped a lot of women with this. So what did I do? Shan, who's helped women with menopause. I texted Shan, do you happen to be available? At the same time, I texted Casey because I wanted her to connect with Casey because I'll put her in the team of Casey so they can work together. And I texted Casey, do you happen to be available? Both Shan and Casey, within 5 minutes, boom, I'm available. Can you just come on and say hi? So I used them to come on and say hi. So now Alex got a story from me, got the angle with menopause and all of that. From Shan's perspective, got Casey's perspective as a functional doctor. Why is she doing the business? And then after that, I use Sarah as well, because she will also be in Sarah Topham, who's a former corporate lawyer, right? So I wanted her to get that perspective as well. Why is she in this business? So you understand what I did? Bam, fam, right? I used 3 different stories within 2 days. Boom, 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 boom. So helping the prospect to make a decision. So I'm talking about the steps. I'm doing all of these steps regularly. So I'm not just, this is not theory. This works. And then, of course, get started training, the get started meeting, the onboarding meeting. On the One Mondo Facebook page, under files, you have the launch sheet, right? So you simplicity. I don't send them Express Start, because that's Express Education, not Express Start, Cinzinos. That's a fantastic book, but it's too much information. There's no reason for Lisa day 1, 2, 3, 4 to see that. She needs simplicity. I'm not going to overwhelm her with go core this. No, no, no. She just needs the get started sheet, step by step, and inviting and do some meetings. Get her going, get her going. And she will learn. That's the best education while we're doing the basics. But you need to do the get started training in a way where you also lead to action, right? That's why the one pager is critical, because if you're not using the system will never start working for you. Then number 7 is promoting events. For all of you in UK, do you even have your ticket for the 1st and 2nd of June? And if you have you start promoting it? You cannot promote what you haven't committed to. So for some of you, I mean, for all of you in UK, I know there was a Swedish event last week. We had an event, the One Mondo USA last weekend with Michaela and Casey. So, and we have the next one, 17th of August in Phoenix with Michaela and Casey again. So, you know, if you have people in US, talk about the 17th of August. Always promoting next event. I'm always promoting next event. The UK one, I promoted last time I could show you messages 2-3 hours ago to a partner. So I'm always doing this. I'm looking at these skills. Am I doing them? You know, these 7 skills. Am I good at them? But am I regularly finding new prospects? Am I inviting people? Am I presenting? Am I following up? Am I helping a prospect make a decision? Am I doing new get started trainings? Am I promoting next events? This should be your 7 habits as well, right? This is the skills you need to be good at. When you become good at these skills, doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can win big. And you can help people win big. Keep it simple. Stick to focus on the 7 skills. Don't be all over the place with implementing this, that. You know, you master the 7 skills. You go ambassador and above, and you want to create your own system and it and that. Absolutely. At least try this until you get results with this. Because when you do that, you probably will never want to try something else. So that's the 7 skills. So we talked about who to work with, what is the 7 skills we work on with ourselves and helping our new partner work on it. And then the 5 attributes of a leader. So let's look at what we're looking for here in a leader. How do a leader behave? How is a leader, what is their focus on? And I want you also to think again, do you have these 5 characteristics? And this is something you can learn. Number 1, a leader, a potential leader, they're independent. You don't need to babysit them. You know what? They don't call, text you and ask, when is the next event? Where is the next event? What time is the event? Then you're not a leader. You're independent. You take responsibility. You know where to find the stuff. Go check it in back office or find on, if you're UK for the 1st and the 2nd, where do you find a link if we didn't post it? Yeah, on the UK Facebook group with Steve Morley corporate has set up, right? So you go check that. You're independent. You make a daily to-do list. You invite, you present, you do these things. You don't need anybody to be there for you. For example, when I made a decision in 2009 that I'm going to make this my career, my sponsor lived 1.5 hour drive from me. He was supposed to come on the Saturday. I had booked 5 contacts, so 5 meetings for him to do with me. He canceled the day before. Something happened with family, so he couldn't come. I'm like, okay, I'll just do the 5 meetings myself. Because a leader is independent. A leader is number 2, a problem solver, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to solve this. I just checked the reviews, asked him, so how do I do the presentation? I checked the brochures and everything, and I brought it with me, paper, pen, brochures. All the 5, I did them. Guess how many signed up? Nada piñada. Zero. I burnt them all. I was just blah, 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 blah. A good presenter listens first to adjust the presentation to who you're talking to. But probably like many do in the beginning, some of you might do it still. You come there, you sit down, and just bring out the Uzi and just shooting them information. No, ask the right questions. It's about meeting people where they're at and talking their language. But a leader is independent. They are a problem solver. Are you a problem solver, or do you whine when it comes a problem? Look for solution. A leader is consistent. Like, find your minimum number weekly. Like when I was new, right? You heard I share a story often. I had a job, I had a football, I made one commitment. For 12 months, I'm going to do 7 presentations a week, no matter what. And I did that independently of my sponsor. Problem solver, when I called everybody on my list, when I had nobody to call, do you know who I called? Somebody else. I had nobody to call, I just called somebody else. Call somebody who said no. Lisa, who do you know that's a leader? Just calling somebody. Who do you know? You can open Instagram conversations. Boom. Hey, Lisa, I saw you live in wherever you're looking for. If it's locally, I'm looking for the right personality. We're expanding a business, building a franchise or e-commerce business. We're expanding UK right now. I saw your profile. Based on that, it looks like you could be a good fit. If you're open for new opportunities, let's meet on a Zoom and talk. Whatever you need to do, ask for references, knock the door neighbor. Who do you know? I'm expanding a business. Who do you know that's a leader? Whatever, because if you want it bad enough, hungry, coaching, willing, right? Hungry, willing, coachable, and independent and problem solver and consistent, you just make it happen. And when you make it happen, don't look at results, because you're not good in the beginning. But if you do it enough times, you become good, and all of a sudden, you start getting better results for the same efforts. Leaders have a big vision. Why does big build teams have a big vision? One, because it drives them. There needs to be hunger. That's part of hunger, right? But when you talk to people, if you have a mini vision, there's no room for anyone with a big vision in your small vision, right? So leaders, they have big vision. 5, they create action. They create action. They take action. They talk to people. They make presentations. They follow up. They create action. They fill the path. If they have to, again, problem solver. If you have a business presentation in a city and Lisa, I can't make it, I pass Lisa's house, pick her up, I'll pick her up at that time. I would just make it happen. We create action. What else should I do with my life? Watch TV? Sitting just chilling coffee. I feel better chilling, drinking a coffee in my garden after I took massive action. So a leader creates action. So a leader is what? Independent. They're a problem solver. They're consistent. They have a big vision and they create action. With vision, look at Cinzino's vision, 40 billion, 100 million customers. When you're around this, for us, our team, we're going to have 10 million customers, which actually probably a small vision, right? To 2050, 10 million active customers. When you're around people who's winning big, you will hear leaders like this, they think differently, they act differently, they inspire others to take action, to think bigger. I was the man who wrote this book, Go Pro. I was in his house for 4 full days in Las Vegas last weekend. You should have seen that house. And he was speaking at an event because he's the biggest coach in the industry, independent, right? Herbalife hired him. So he's flying to a Herbalife event, 25,000 people this weekend because they want to grow again. So they pay him a lot of money to coach their team. And what I'm teaching you today is stuff he's teaching them. So he has a private jet, After we were leaving, he's like, yeah. He was packing his private jet with dumbbells, exercise. He has his own bed there, flying to Thailand 20 hours because they had to stop in Hawaii, put some fuel on. And he said, it's nice feeling. You don't have to stress away. The plane will leave when we're there. But just being around this, seeing that house, and in that room, people are making. There was one woman in that room in network marketing. She has done 3 times. She been over 1 million euros a month. And when you met her, she's nothing special. But she's hungry. She's independent. She's a problem solver. She's consistent. She has a huge vision, and she creates massive action. 3 times, she said, because they were talking. She's like, 3 times now I passed 1 million a month. She said, now I'm under it, but I'm soon there again. when you sit with people like that, you realize like, wow, why am I playing so small? Because of the potential you have inside of you is limitless, my friend. So stop playing small. And if you have a big vision, you're going to attract better people, but you're also going to inspire people to think bigger, to act bigger. I realized those days there that I'm playing too small, I'm thinking too small, I'm acting too small, and it's done. It's done. There's no more playing small. And then let's look at the language to use with a potential leader. Let's say I have a potential leader, they're hungry, willing, coachable, right? Step one, they're hungry, willing, coachable. Then they have the 5 traits of a leader: the independent, the problem solver, consistent, big vision, they create action. And this is skills we can grow at, and we can help them become better at. So if you don't have it to now, you can just better it. Now you're aware of what you need to better. But what is the language to use with a potential leader? So if I have Andreas and he's willing to go, he's hungry, coaching, willable. One, I do the basics. I do the basics with him. We say it's brand new, and he's hungry, willing, and coachable, willing to take action, have a big vision. Number one, I do the basics with him. Invite, I'll invite with him. Present, I'll present with him. Following up, I show him how to follow up. I follow up with him. Promoting next event, I'll promote the next event with him. The get started sheet, I'll do it with him. The get started meeting, he starts Lisa, I'll do it for Lisa. So I'm doing the basics with him, right? So the language should be the system and the basics. That should be the language, how I talk to him. Let's focus on the basics. Andreas is like, Marco, I'm not making so much money with Zeno. I've been in now 1 year. Yeah, but let's look at the basics. Let's look at a calendar. How much have you done the basics last week? How many presentations have you done? So I'm leading with the basics. 2 assignments. For example, Andreas starts today. Great. We booked the Get Started meeting tomorrow. I'll send him from the onemonth.com the Get Started video. Look at the video, write down your list and your goal, and take notes from the video. An assignment, right? Now we come to Get Started tomorrow. Andreas, did you see the video? And what's your key takeaways from the video? And what's your goal? Have you started a list? So I give assignments, right? Like today, she's on the call. She wanted coaching, personal coaching. I said, bring a sponsor. And she wanted personal coaching with me. I said, absolutely. When you go platinum, I'll do the personal coaching with you. So I'm giving assignments. So for example, if I work with Andreas, and he's committing 7 presentations a week, his assignment on the Sunday is to go into the week. So we talk on the Sunday, the weekly coaching. Your assignment, Andreas, today is book the 7 meetings. So you come into the week, not chasing the week. That's your assignment for today. Book the 7 meetings. Let me know tonight when they're booked. So I'm giving assignments. Get your ticket for next event. Invite your people. If he has a team, I'm not going to talk to your people and make sure you promote an event. Your assignment this week is selling tickets to your event. So, I'm leading with assignments connected to the basics so we see progress. 3, challenge. I challenge them. If Andreas talks about, if we say I have a people of 40, a 40 people team, and I say, what's your goal for next event? Yeah, 25 is my goal for next event tickets. Okay, but how many people do you have in your team? 40. Okay, do you think all of them could bring 1 each? Yeah. And that's 40 and 40 each, that's 80 there. So I'm challenging him to think bigger. I'm challenging them to think bigger. Like with Casey, we were in a coaching in US, in Phoenix, in Denver 2 days ago. And you saw Casey, right? I'm challenging him to think bigger, meet people where they're at, and talk. If he talks 10K a month, I'm talking 15. If they talk 2,000 a month, I'm talking 3. I'm not with somebody who's not thinking big yet. They think 2,000 is a lot. I don't talk 10,000. Then I'm talking 3,000. So it's always meeting where they're at. If Andreas want to sponsor 4 people this week, maybe I challenge him to sponsor 5. It's just 4 meetings extra you need to book. So you're challenging people to think a little bigger, to act a little bigger. 4, the language you use with potential leaders, stories. For positive and negative, you use the stories. People are like-minded at them who have results. Or if you're promoting events, I'm sharing stories of somebody who brought 5 people to the event, forced them there, and what happened 6 months after because they had 5 people at the event. Or somebody refused to go to the event. They had a group. 6 months later, they had all quit because this person was not working the system, which we see sadly too often. So using stories in a presentation, I press on Facebook. If I'm sitting with a 25-year-old, I'm showing Sasha Huber, who's in a One Mondo family, making 15,000 a month. I show him. If they're a teacher and they're around 30, I show Stüttler's story, right? 3 years in, he's making over 30,000 a month now after 3 years. So I said, this guy was a personal trainer teacher, started there, was cold. He only reached out to cold prospects on Instagram. And look where he is today, 3 years later. I'm sitting with somebody who's 66. I'm showing Sue Booth. Look at there's Sue Booth, she's at this and this age, and she's a director with Cinzino. If a director, you make an average 7,000 a month. She's making that at that age. She's even a couple years older than you. Because people have to realize as well, if you take care of yourself, 68, 70, 71, it's a young number, right? If you exercise, you have muscle mass, and you take care of your health. So vision. So again, I'm challenging them, right? I'm sharing stories, but also then vision, right? Always expanding the vision, sharing the vision of what's possible for them, drawing it out there. Because no matter if your goal is 1,000 euros a month or 500,000 euros a month, it is possible, my friend. Of course, the bigger vision, the bigger goal, the harder work, more frustrations, and more personal growth is needed. Of course. But the big vision, challenging them with vision, inspiring them with a vision, showing what's possible, always. So this is the language you do. The basics, systems, assignments, challenging them, stories, and vision. So this is how you communicate with them, always, right? Empowering them with these things. And then, of course, let's look at how you can measure growth and stability. Tonight, you're getting like a masterclass in how to win big and how to live your dreams in this profession. Few of you will actually implement this. And you know what? We're going to see at the next One Mondo event next year with much better results than having today, for sure. And probably we want you on stage sharing your story, how you went from executive to ambassador in 11 months, because that's possible. If you're hungry, willing, and coachable, you become good at the 7 skills. You implement and make sure you have the 5 traits of a leader: independent, problem solver, consistent, big vision, and creating action. And then learn the language and always talk in the system and assignments, challenges, stories, and vision, and how to measure to see if you have growth. Here it is. Business is driven by numbers. There's no entrepreneur out there you meet that don't know the numbers in their business. You have a business here. Do you know your numbers? So you can measure growth and how stable your business is by, number one, how many new core ranks did you have last week? And here it's silver. Core ranks in Cinzino is silver. Because how do you create growth? You create a lot of new silvers. When you create a lot of new silvers, because if Roman is new and he creates 4 silvers this month, he's an executive. Help those executives create 4 silvers each. Now he's a diamond. So it's all about new core ranks. How many new silvers do you have? And somebody starts today. Roman started a couple of weeks ago. If he hits 10 subscription customers, which is 3 health protocol and 1 balance all, he has 10, and recruit 2 ultimates and help the 2 get 2, he made 2,500 euros the first weeks. Do you think there's excitement? Do you think using his story when he talks to people will inspire others to join him? Hey, 3 weeks in, I made 2,500. This is why, for yourself and for everybody else, you want to go silver quick. You want to go silver quick because that's a story you'll share for the rest of your career. And people tend to duplicate your tempo. And then, so write down, check last week, every week, how many new core ranks in my business? How many new partners and customers in my business this week? How many new X teams, 10 personal customers? How many new X team in my group? And then how many 10 enrollment incentive programs in team? That means how many have sponsored at least 10 people, business partners? That's an enrollment incentive program, right? You get extra money for Cinzino for Get There. You get money for everyone you sponsor and help them get their 4 customers. So who has, like the guy who's now creating campaigns and everything for Herbalife, who wrote that book, they created clubs. They call it Perfect 10. So everybody, it was another group. He created these campaigns and for them and the verbiage with core ranks and they called how many has sponsored template. They call it Perfect 10. And this woman was very female driven. And all of these women was running around saying, I want to be a perfect 10. Everybody want to be a perfect 10, right? So perfect 10, 10 EIP, 10 enrollment incentive program. So 10 plus recruits. The Super 10 Club, whatever we should call it here in the One Mondo family, right? Because we need more. You need to lead by example if we're going to create a rock. We're talking here building a big rock solid team, right? So is that number growing month by month? You should write down month by month how many new core ranks, how many have 10 person enrolled, how many new X teams, or how many new and how many existing, and how many new partners and customers daily you should see coming into a business, and then how many tickets to next event. From next month, for annual event in October, there's going to be a ticker so you can see exactly for next annual event. This also shows with event ticket, for example, who you should work with. And I get a lot of requests now daily. I had more time, but I don't. So now I have to be very selective. And if you're not hungry, coachable, willing, you're working on 7 skills, you're working a system, you don't have the 5 traits, I don't have time for you. It's just like it's a business in that sense. We have to be very aware. And with this, there's no discrimination. It's just look at the facts. Are you hungry, willing, coachable? Do you have ticket for next event? You create the action, do you have a big vision? Or else, I say that respectfully is because if somebody doesn't have these things, sadly, often it's a waste of time. They can be a fantastic human being. That's one thing, because people don't have to do anything to deserve my love. I see your value, but they have to deserve my time. John C. Maxwell said that. They don't have to do anything to deserve my love. I see their value, but I have to deserve my time. So if you want to be a professional here, I've been just laying it out for you. And then closing the leadership gap in your group. Let's look at last thing I'm going to share. Because this is for some of you starting getting a group. This is something I want you to think about when you build a business. This is leadership gap. In some teams, it's huge, in some it's small. So here is volume, credits, sales, revenue in your business. Is this one. And this one is leadership. If you don't work on leadership, when you get growth, because this here and this here will always meet. So when the business grows, automatically, if you grow quick, there will be a leadership gap. We've seen in One Mondo family, the teams who grow the quickest the last 2 years, they also have the biggest leadership gap. Meaning, people are really good at the basics, people are independent, they're problem solvers, they're consistent, they have a big vision, they create action. It's fewer than it should be at that volume. But this is what you want, because you should always be growing the gap by volume and then closing it up by raising leaders. Because once you have volume, if you're not creating leadership in a group, the leadership gap will close. So either this will have to come up or this will come down. So you always want to work on this gap, closing the gap. By what? Doing what we covered today. This is what you do with the new people. Because only through a systematic approach where you're growing leaders, where you can win long-term big time and help people win big long-term. Only through that. And in the One Mondo family, we're going to help so many people win big. Because as you know, the more you have, the more you can give. And also, if you look at the One Mondo Foundation, I also want to remind many of you, because many of you, we have the donation, onemondofoundation.com, where you can donate. We bought the land, the One Mondo family. So we need 45,000 euros to 15th of October. to take 200 kids off the street. The deadline is 15th of October. We're at 12%. So many of us who gave 1 month ago wanted to give on auto ship, right? And you can do that with PayPal only. So just a reminder, it's past 1 month now. So if you want to help the kids off the street and give back, make sure they get a better life, please go to onemondofoundation.com and share and donate to help these kids. Nobody makes money on this. Nobody is just to help these kids off the streets, and it's a community of loving people, give back to society, create a better world, educating kids and take them off the streets so they get, listen to this, they get accommodation, school, water, food for 130 euros per year. Please sponsor one child at least. Because we're only at 12% and we have to 15th of October. From all of these loving people in this group, I was expecting much more the first month, I can promise you that. Because there's so little will help these kids. And imagine as a community when we build a school, when it's done, because deadline 15th of October, and then in March it's built. Then we'll have a One Mondo school. Imagine just when you talk to people, sharing what you're part of doing, creating a better world. And imagine we create so many rich people in this community. Imagine how many schools we can build. Imagine how many kids we can take off the streets to have a better life, things you take for granted. So onemondofoundation.com, let's get these kids off to school. We have the 15th of October to get 45,000 euros. And we're way behind. We're way behind. Then, of course, I'm not telling you to do it. It's not a must. It's just like, if you have a heart, let's as a community give them a better life, stuff we take for granted. And those money, what would we spend them anyway? A shirt? A restaurant? Coffees? I don't know. But leaving today, your action steps, your assignments, right? Because a leader talking language of assignments. I'm going to give you 4 assignments. So write them down. Number 1, clarity of your why. Write down why you're doing this. Why do you want to make this happen? Or why do you need to make this happen? Number 2, a clear goal and vision. Have a clear goal and clear vision. And maybe step by step, you dare to expand that vision when you see what's possible. But many other in Cinzino, in the One Mondo family, in other companies are making it huge. And you realize that, like I saw this woman making $1 million a month a couple of times. I'm like, wow, when I talk to her, there's no depth. She's not very smart. You know, her background, she even had been a stripper in Florida. So like, that's her background. You're coming from that, very abusive, grown up, was very damaged. And then got into this industry. And now 10 years with that company has made over 50 million. 50 million in 10 years come from that background. She just was so hungry. She was willing and coachable, and she took massive action, which it's a crazy story, actually. When I met her, I just realized, like, okay, Marco, what's your excuses for not having built it bigger? What's your excuses? What's your excuses? I'm like, I have no excuses. Like, wow, I'm playing too small. That was my thinking when I sat there. Clear goal and vision, and then the weekly commitment. I want you to write down, what is your minimum number? What is your minimum number of weekly presentations? Remember, when I was part-time, January 2009, I made a commitment. 7 presentations per week for 1 year. 7 a week, 7 a week. And I did it every week. 7 a week, 7 a week was my commitment. And you know what? I was already working full-time playing football in 2nd division in Sweden. So I was leaving my home 7 in the morning, coming back 10 at night. 7 to 10 every day, I was busy. 7 a week, even if you have 3 kids and 3 jobs. Even if you find a 5 presentation on the Sunday, whatever you need to do. You know what? If you're hungry, you'll find a way. If you're willing to work, you'll do it. If you're coachable, you will also do it sticking to the system. So, onemondofoundation.com. Hopefully you want to contribute to these kids so we get our 45,000 to help so many kids off the streets into a better life. But I also hope this was helpful. What did we cover here? We talked about who to work with, right? We talked about, so hungry, willing, coachable, do you have these traits? We talked about the 7 skills. We talked about the 5 traits of a leader: independent, problem solver, consistent, big vision, create action. Do you do that? We help people do that. 4, the language, how we communicate with them, basics, system, assignment, challenge, stories, vision. We talked about taking inventory, checking the numbers to become professional, so you can duplicate the right behaviors as well, and right knowing, taking, tracking a business. And we talked about the leadership gap. Yeah, I think that was it. Any questions? Write down the question if you have them. 1 to 10, how helpful was this for you? 1 to 10, write 1 to 10 as well. How helpful was this for you? Can you repeat the 7 skills? I will. Oh, a lot of tens. Hey, Alex, the one I talked to, Alex, right, from Berlin. All these years, Alex, 9 years. I sent her half an hour before. If you happen to be free, jump on the call, because I will cover what it will cover stuff, because she's new, and she's like, okay, how will this, be? And so 7 skills they've asked me to repeat. I'll open quick the it's closed, but it was number 1, finding prospects, so always adding people to a list. 2, invitation, so always inviting. 3, presenting. 4 is following up. Help the prospect make a decision, right? Using your sponsor, 3-way call, they have to hear another story. Validation. 6 is becoming good at getting the new partner started the right way. Promoting events, number 7. There you have the 7. We got a lot of 10s here, so I guess it was nice to see you as well, Alex. She wrote, nice to see everyone. Ida, absolutely love this. 10, very nice. What is the 1 month link tree? Copy that as well. Link tree. Copy. Here's the link tree. You can unmute yourself if somebody has something to. Alex, you want to unmute yourself? I don't know if you have camera on even or nothing. Alex, are you here?
I am here. Of course, I'll unmute myself.
Here she is. Here she is. 9 years later, you're finally getting started. Share with people here. Who are you and why are you getting started now after all these years?
Okay, thanks, Marco. Thanks for letting me come in here as well. I just jumped in when you started to share my story, so I had that tickled me, actually. It was quite funny. He's not lying, everybody. It was 9 years he's been trying to get me in, and he has been taking notes of when my son started school, all of these things. So that was really good. You gave away all your toolkit now, Marco, so I'm coming for you. Okay, so my background was I was a professional dancer, Australian, moved over to Germany, based here, and just lived an incredible life, but very, very unhealthy, as most of you or anyone who knows a dancer, most unhealthy athlete in the world still today. And became very interested in understanding why I was always injured. Became a personal trainer and nutritionist, and was picked up quite fast by Nike, which was really nice. Women's training, so I became a global Nike trainer for women's training in 2012, and have still today am signed with Nike as an athlete and coach, which is I hold very, very highly and very grateful to be a part of that journey and that change with them. But it's also definitely kind of directed my way of who I am as a coach. And I was coaching kind of men and women, but had a very organic transition into only women and focusing on women when I realized that there was 4% of research on everything from supplementation to training to everything was only 4% done on women. And I wanted to be a part of that change. And that's only been in the last 4 years that I've been stuck in that rabbit hole, joined a research team in the UK, and continue to study as we get more information about women. And that's what's led me here today, because it's the right time now. And I feel I have a very strong online community of women, high performing women, not just training, but also in leadership. And I help them understand their unique hormone profile. I help them train with their physiology and not against it. I help women get their periods back and understand that that is their superpower from the age of 14, so puberty, all the way to perimenopause, postmenopause. And I just feel that, you know, lifting women, as Marco said when he introduced me, lifting women has a double meaning. And it's my purpose comes from quite a lot of pain, and which, you know, maybe one day you'll hear my story, which impacts definitely this journey. And lifting women and giving them quality of life, not just in fitness and nutrition. That's like the foundation of movement and honoring your body. But how do I give them back quality of life with, you know, what they're giving their body? So supplementation. I worked with many companies, but I don't know if it works. And that's pretty much the tagline in here. I don't know with what I'm recommending and the trust that they have from me if it works. So I just feel that I'm in the right place in the right time. And Marco's alarm went off to try and get Alex in the door again. And I was like, do you know what? I'm actually going to sell you out here. It was Shan who got me over the line. Shan takes the win. She was the one who was in the three-way call after my education.
That's how bad I am, everybody. That's how bad I am, guys. I work on 9 years, and then I just need one call with Shan, and it's done. So you see, three-way violation. That's how bad I am. You see, I can win big, and I'm bad.
That was it though. But honestly, like that was the perfect, when I saw in the education that you do these three-way calls, and I was like, you sly dog, you had that all planned. And all Shan came in, then Sarah came with her glowing skin and, you know, balance oil. And then Casey came from America. And I was like, do you know what? Right, whatever, I'm in, I'm doing it. How do we do this? When do we start?
All I needed was some female power.
Alex.
Female power was all I needed, huh? From 3 angles.
Yeah. I'm a mum, I'm an athlete, I'm a coach, I wear many hats. I'm very excited to be a part of this journey and see you all at the live event. I think I got that enough times that I need to book my ticket to the live event. So I'll be able to see you in person. So thank you for the welcoming. Thank you, Marco, for having me on the mic. I do love a good mic. Thanks, team.
You guys will see a lot of Alex on the stages in the future, for sure. And thank you. And thank you, Shannon. You will soon meet Dave there, Alex, as well. He wrote here, he was ready with his wig and dress ready, you know, Shannon's husband. Next time I use you for 3, I hope you come with a wig there, some female power. Sorry, guys, we can't beat that, but very nice. Thank you for sharing, Alex. Thank you for coming on, and I'm excited to finally work together. And for all of you on the call, appreciate you all. I'm proud to be part of this amazing One Mondo family, and together we make a huge impact. So let's make it a great week, and see you very soon. Ciao.
Thanks, everyone. Great job, Marco.
Thank you, Dave. Send a picture with your wig.
Thank you for the call, everyone. Ciao.
Ciao.